Okay guys, so I finally got something to fill this hole with. Those of you that probably know campers know what that hole is. That's for a water heater. They have a door there. That's where it lets the exhaust out, and then you can open it up and do maintenance and stuff. So that's where my hot water heater went. The old one is right there. Actually, I've been saving it all this time. I'm not really sure why. I guess maybe just the door in case I needed that or something. But that is an Atwood 10-gallon water heater. Back in '92, that would have been quite the water heater in its day. Along with it has the DSI, direct spark injection, so there's no pilot lighting or nothing. So back in '92, this camper was quite the camper to have that kind of a hot water heater. But anyway, fast forward to 2019 here, and things have changed. What I picked up was a tankless water heater. It actually came in another box, so hopefully it's not damaged. I have not had this thing out yet, but we're hoping it's not damaged. Now you can see the part number here. This is GSWH-2. There's a GSWH-1, which was the first model they came out with. And I remember when they first came out with these were like $700-800. And I actually got this one for like $478, which is cheaper than even what they're selling the first model for, which I don't understand, but right now it's cheaper. It may not be when you check it out, but it was when I bought it. It's kind of why I went with the second model. Now the second model has a few new features than over the older model. This thing is supposed to, like I said, it's supposed to be endless hot water. There is no tank, so there's minimal winter storage prep on this thing. You just got to blow out the line a little bit, I believe is what they said in the instructions. This thing is a lot smaller, so it doesn't take up near as much space as the old one did. This one is going to be a lot lighter because it doesn't have a tank, and it's not going to have 10 gallons of water in it either, so it's going to be a lot lighter. This, like I said, this is a lot smaller. It needs an opening of like 12.5 by 12.5. That opening right there is a standard 10-gallon Atwood opening, which I think is like 16.5 by 15.75, something like that. So what you need, if you have a hole like that, if I could have made the hole, I made this wall, so I could have made a custom smaller hole, but I didn't know what I was doing at the time. Anyway, this is a standard hole that I made for my old hot water heater. If you buy one of these tankless water heaters, be it the first model or this model, you have to buy a door kit, which is what I have right here. This door kit is model specific, so if you buy the first model, you got to buy the first model door kit, because they have changed, I think, the exhaust on that or something, so they are different. So you have to order this. Like I said, is for a 10-gallon hole. 10-gallon Atwood. Maybe this is Suburban too. But anyway, you can see right there is the opening that this new water heater is going to use, and you can see all the rest of that is just covering the big hole that the camper has. I am going to have to make a support. They recommend actually building another support, and I'll show you this when I do the install. I can't do a full install, guys, because I don't have my water lines in the camper. I do have most of my wiring, so I can probably do that, but I just won't be able to do the water lines, and I won't be able to actually fire this thing up and see how it works as of now, but I will eventually. So if you can check in my playlist, maybe I'll have one by the time you watch this video. But anyway, guys, that's what I picked up. Like I said, like $470 some for this, and then another $40 for the install kit and the door, which kind of runs the price up. And you can get one of these for around $600. You can get that runs off gas and 110. Now this tankless one is gas only, LP gas. It doesn't run off electric. I do have my camper set up for electric, so I'm probably just going to end up putting a electrical outlet under the sink there, because I already have power run and a switch. So we'll just make an outlet, I think, under the sink. I may end up putting a dishwasher under the sink anyway, so that'll work out, I think. So in the box with the water heater, you get an owner's manual. And this gives you, I believe, directions on how to hook it up. I think they recommend professional installation, though. I think most DIY guys can probably handle this. Along with the instructions, you get this control panel. Now, this only comes with the second generation water heater. This is kind of the improvement that they've made, and this is a little control panel. Like I said, controls the water heater, and you turn it on here, and then you can adjust the temperature of the water from this panel. So that's kind of nice. Also, it shows you when it's on and when the water's flowing and stuff. And it'll also, if something goes wrong, there are codes that it can send and help diagnose what's the matter with the water heater. So that's kind of nice. That's what the second gen has over the first gen, which I thought was really nice. I've never had a tankless water heater, but I imagine being able to adjust the temperature is probably a good thing. So there's all the parts, everything you need to do your job. I got to get my water heater out of the box here, set it in place, start getting a plan for boxing in the hole there, making it a little smaller, and start the install on this thing. Okay, so I got it out of the box. You can see how very compact this thing is. I don't see any damage from shipping. You got the front there. It's got a big computer deal or a control panel there. And there's the exhaust, I imagine. There's an on-off switch. I think that's a master on-off switch. And then on the back side, you've got wires, and you've got, it's marked here, hot, cold. It says do not torque. These fittings are already installed. They're ready for you to screw on some new ones, or your fittings that you already have. Again, this is tankless, so you don't need a bypass or anything. So you might have to change up your water lines, but I wouldn't imagine it'd be very hard. gas line right here. Again, this will just screw on to your gas line that you already have. I think mine will work. I just got to bend it a little bit. I may end up shortening mine. These wires here, these two blue ones I believe go to the controller that I showed you. And then you've got a red one which is a positive 12 volt, black one which is a negative 12 volt. It says low voltage, do not connect this to 120. It's for 12 volt only, guys. This is not a 110 unit, it won't run on 110. This is propane only, guys. So really simple. If you was to retrofit this onto a camper, I would imagine it would take very little time to actually swap this over. So I'm going to test fit it up in my hole and we'll see how small it is compared to the hole that I got. Okay, so now you can see the size difference to an Atwood 10 gallon to this one here. See, I'm going to have to make some bracing here, across here, and I'm going to have to make one across down here to support this deal. So I got to do some woodwork and probably a little bit of insulating after I do that, and we'll continue on with the install here. Okay, so this is how I chose to fill in the area that I needed to fill in. I just used 2x4s, run them through the table saw, trimmed them down. It was like 2 3/4 wide, and this was almost a full 2x4. I just shaved a little bit off because it was a little too tight. Getting it in and out, I wanted to be able to get it in and out. It's still kind of tight, but I want it tight, but you got to be able to get it in and out without struggling too bad. I just used pocket screws to install this. Used my Craig jig. It's screwed all the way across. These are tied together, and it is super strong, guys. I mean, really strong. They say to use like 2x2s, but then you have a gap right here, and you have a gap right there and stuff. So this is just the way I chose to do it. I felt like, you know, filling it completely in was better than leaving a gap. So I got that done. I gotta clean up again here. We'll get the unit in there, and then I need to screw the door, or not the door, but the door kit to the water heater. Then I can screw all the way around, screw that to the camper. I do got to put the butyl tape all the way around this to seal it up nice, because this is unprotected, so we want that completely sealed and no water getting in there. Okay, so I got my door kit screwed onto my hot water heater. There's 2 screws on each side, and I just used some stainless screws I had. I know it's kind of weird that they're sticking out this way. I'm not sure how else to do it. I put the screws in this way from that side. They have a thicker flange right here, so the screw grabs onto that. You wouldn't go the other way. If you did go the other way, you wouldn't be able to get this slid into the hole anyway. So I may take something and grind these off, because these are really sharp. But anyway, the doors, or the door kit, is on there. I gotta put my butyl caulk on the back side and then get it screwed up against the camper. So there it is, all screwed on. One thing I did want to make sure is it was straight. At first when I put it up there, it was a little crooked, and I stepped back and I had to reposition it. So if you're picky about that, if you don't care, then whatever, but I like to make sure it was straight. Anyway, screwed it all the way around, screwed a few screws in here. This thing is not going anywhere. Got my butyl tape in there. You see it squishing out a little bit. It's exactly what you want. I actually use stainless screws. I like these stainless screws. They're 8 by 1 inch, I guess, is what they are. I've used that for pretty much all my trim and everything else, so they work out good for holding stuff, and they're stainless, so they'll never corrode. But anyway, guys, pretty much in now. Got to get my door on, and we'll see what she looks like. And there it is with the door installed. I painted it satin black or semi-gloss black, same as my vent. They don't have a black door yet available, so I had to paint it, and I also have to get the black silicone ring. Right now I have a white one, so I got to order that. And yeah, it's open up the door. There she be. Really like it, guys. Trying to be easy on my freshly painted door. But this is about as far as I can go. I can't really hook up the water lines. I don't have them. The electrical is just a positive and a negative, and then the 2 blue wires that are coming out of it go to the remote. So it is not that difficult. You got a gas line. Mine's gonna work. I just gotta kind of rebend it a little bit, and that should be fine. But yeah, I can't really try it out in this video, guys, but I will be eventually. I guess that's gonna do it for this one, guys. I'll see you.